What up, y'all? I'm back. It's another week, another Saturday. Happy to be here. Praise God. Um, I just got back from Vegas not too long ago. Had a great time there. Uh, it was just can't even go into it. It was just a cool little time I had there. But when I got back, I got real sick. I had a bad cold that knocked me out, man. So like I said, I'm just that's where I'm at. I'm just happy to be here, happy to have another Saturday with y'all on the W.E.S.T podcast. So, uh, but what I did do is uh, I joined up. I joined a men's group, um, which I don't know. Okay, it's actually started by my cousin, and it's called Men's Discussion and Solution, and it's actually a Facebook group. So the topics, they could be anything. We talk about just literally anything. And if you want to check it out, go check it out. It's called Men's Discussion and Solution. It's on Facebook. So there's the plug. And let's get right into it.
The big story of the week was this.
So it looks like there's going to be more signings on the way to WWE, and that's according to WrestlingNews.co, not .com, .co, and Fightful through their WWE ID program. And the WWE ID program is set up to where they could strategically sign independent talent, you know, just the hot, the hot wrestlers that are doing their thing on the independent circuit. They could sign them to WWE, and they could still do their thing on the independent circuit, which is pretty cool thing. So apparently, according to Fightful, they've already signed a number of women. They're not gonna give out their names, and they are not going to give out how many they've signed. So they're keeping that under wraps, which is, I guess, a cool thing, because in wrestling, you like surprises, especially in an era where the internet, everything is spoiled. So it's nice to have some surprises. So I have no problem with that. In other news, the French phenomenon who went viral a couple months back because of his entrance, Ricky Sosa, made his U.S. debut this week. He wrestled for TNA in Atlanta. It was for a taping of their YouTube show called Explosion. And that's Explosion without the E in the beginning. So it's just Xplosion. So bad news is TNA hasn't aired it or posted it for whatever reason. Maybe not yet. Don't know. If you do go on their, or if you do go on YouTube, you can search Ricky Sosa TNA, and there are a few fan videos of people that were there live that caught him on tape. They didn't get the match. They just got his entrance, which is pretty much enough to get you hyped. So that's that. But there is an update. There is an update. He will be wrestling in Vegas on April 16th for House of Glory. Now, House of Glory also happens to be where another up-and-coming superstar, or wrestler, I should say. I got to get that word out of my vocabulary. Superstar. Zilla Fatu. He is the cousin of Roman Reigns, The Rock, the Usos. So that's where he's at. So I wonder who Ricky Sosa's opponent's going to be. So that all happened this past week, but let's see who is. All right. So this is the part where I give you the breakdown of what's going on in all the wrestling shows and companies, because wrestling is on basically every night of the week. And really all you need to know what's going on is just the main event of the show, which is normally the last part. So let's go day by day and break it down. So on Saturday, you have Collision, which is on TNT at 5 p.m. You had Andrade El Idolo defeating Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull from Japan. And after the match, Bandito came down to the ring and challenged Andrade to a match at Revolution on March 15th, which is actually happening in LA. So you can check that out live if you want to. So, all right, moving on to Monday Night Raw. That's WWE. It's on Netflix at 5 p.m. There wasn't a match at the end. It was basically Roman Reigns and CM Punk confronting each other in the ring, kind of trading verbal jabs at each other. Roman Reigns told CM Punk that he was only brought in to bring in the demographic of men 30 to 50 that are still virgins. And CM Punk gave him an uppercut by telling him he's going to bury Roman next to his dad. And if you don't know, his dad was Alpha, one of the Wild Samoans, who recently passed away in real life. So, I don't know, maybe did CM Punk go too far? So, next Tuesdays is NXT, and that's on the CW at 5 p.m. And again, no match for the main event. You had Ricky Saints doing his rendition of the Rock concert, which was when The Rock sat in the ring, played the guitar, and sung songs making fun of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And so that's what Ricky did. He sat in the ring with a guitar, and he was making fun of the NXT champion, Joe Hendry. And lo and behold, Joe Hendry sneaks up from behind in a black hoodie and a black mask and starts whooping Ricky Saints. But then out comes Ricky Saints' boys, the Vanity Project. So they gang up on Joe Hendry. And then out comes Miles Bourne. He is the new North American champion. So together, Bourne and Hendry threw Ricky Saints and the Vanity Project out of the ring. And that's how NXT ended. Next, you got Wednesdays. And you know what that means? AEW Dynamite. That's Wednesdays on TBS at 5 p.m. You had a great match for once. You had the Don Callis family. You had Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Kazuchika Okada beating Hangman Adam Page and Jet Speed for the Trios champions. And actually, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher used to be a tag team called Aussie Open in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And they were actually a pretty good tag team, but they split up. They're both singles wrestlers now. Kyle Fletcher is he's on his way to the top. He is currently the TNT champion of AEW. So I think there's going to be big things in Kyle Fletcher's future. So let's go to Thursdays. And that's going to be TNA now moved to AMC at 8 p.m. So I wanted to kind of split this up because there hasn't been really any matches. So there was a great match. It was Leon Slater defending his X Division Championship against formerly Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. And Leon Slater won that one. And then after that, the TNA World Champion Santana comes out and demands the reinstatement of Steve Macklin, who before got fired, the week before got fired for beating up the announcer. And that was kind of bad. That was really brutal. And so out comes Daria Ray, who was formerly Sonya Deville in WWE. She's now, I guess, a general manager of TNA. And she's a heel, bad girl, tells Santana, hey, you don't make the matches and you don't decide anything. But I did reinstate Steve Macklin. And then after that, Santino Marella comes out, who is he's the director of authority, the DOA. And he basically says, yeah, Santana, you got what you wanted. And you do have a match with Steve Macklin for the TNA champion at No Surrender on March 27th. So then we move on to Fridays, SmackDown. And that's 5 p.m. on the USA Network. You have Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, defeating Drew McIntyre and new undisputed heavyweight champion. So that was a twist that I didn't see coming. So that changes WrestleMania, because before it was supposed to be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. So now it looks like it's going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. So that's an interesting twist. So based on that twist, I'm going to say SmackDown is living its best week. And when we come back, we're going to be doing some Mod Sports West. We're going to see what you watching, and we're going to be doing some food and travel.
Has bad credit been holding you back from getting a new car, a house, or a better job? Visit creditrepairfolks.com. They offer one-on-one consulting and will give you a personal roadmap to removing negative items and adding positive points to your credit score. The first consultation is free, and they're the only ones that offer a money-back guarantee. They also have payment plans available. So what are you waiting for? Visit creditrepairfolks.com today.
Our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked.
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins.
All right, y'all. You know what time it is. Time for Mod Sports West, where we talk about the only 3 teams you need to know about on the West Coast. That's the Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams. So the Rams, they made a trade this week. They traded for cornerback Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. And in return, the Kansas City Chiefs are getting the Rams' 29th draft pick. McDuffie is actually a local kid. He went to Don Bosco High. And what he could do for the Rams is he can basically defend or lock down any opponent's best wide receiver. So that way the pass rush can do their thing. So shouts out to Les Snead and the Rams. So Lakers, they beat the poor Indiana Pacers on Friday, 128-117, with Luka dropping 44 points on them. LeBron was out of the game, didn't play because he's resting some injuries right now, mainly to his elbows. So tomorrow they play the Knicks at 12:30. So hopefully we could get another dub, because we need it. We need to beat a team that we're not supposed to beat. And finally, in the Dodgers news, Shohei Ohtani hit a grand slam home run in the first game of the World Baseball Classic against Chinese Taipei on Friday. So he will be back with the Dodgers when they play Team USA. So that's going to be good for us. Anyway, so that's My Sports West, but let's talk about what you watching. All right, me, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I'm a Trekkie, and so I'm watching the new series Star Trek Starfleet Academy, and it's rough. It's rough. I haven't even gotten through. I think they put out all of the episodes for the season, and I think it's gonna get canceled. So I only watch the episodes, like I watch an episode if if I have nothing to do and I'm just bored out of my mind. So I'll put that on. So that's what I'm watching. Let's just talk about some travel. All right. So like I said, I was in Vegas recently and I stayed at the Rio Hotel, and they have a restaurant. They have a more pricier food court. If you go to the back door of the Rio, it's right inside that back door. There's a restaurant right when you walk in. It's called Tender Crush, and they're based in New York. And what they do is they sell what I like to call loaded chicken tenders. And I gave them a try, and I put the review here. It's on the vlog, and you can check them out, see how those chicken tenders look. But basically what they do is they kind of put a lot of stuff on top of the chicken tender. So it's not like a Raising Cane's or any other chicken tender place you've been to. They kind of load them up with like toppings. So check out what I think if you want to, try it when you're out there. But other than that, because of my voice, I will see y'all next week. Peace.